start. All right, so for next week, you should take an online quiz on the first couple chapters and start doing your projects. And the first few projects are right here on my webpage. After that, we're going to be using this Web Security Academy, but the first few are here. So the first thing, by the way, if you're not familiar with the Linux command line, then you should do this Linux Journey one. That's all extra credit. This is where you learn the basics of Linux. You go to this page here called Linux Journey, and they have a bunch of little lessons. You don't have to log in or anything. You have a little lesson, and then there's a question here. And each lesson has a little question in the corner. You can enter the answers here, but you won't get points in this class for that. To get points in this class, you have to put them in my scoring system, which you'll find here. If you go to the bottom of this page, here's the place where you can enter flags. And the Linux Journey is the category Linux Journey here. And there's a whole bunch of ones. They're worth 1 point each. You put in you choose your student ID off the list. If you're a pre-registered student, you already have an account here. If not, you can register a new account. And then you put in the flag, and you get 1 point for each one you get right. So that's the automated scoring system. And you can use that for all the projects in my classes if you want to. But if you want, an alternative way to turn in homework is to send them in to Canvas, which is which I don't have a description of here, but you can turn them in Canvas. I'll add a little box here to this page telling you how to do it. Send messages inside Canvas. Anyway, but let's say that's an extra credit project. Not everybody will do this one, but you should do it if you're not familiar with Linux. And after that, there's one here called W101, which is the one I expect everybody to do, 20 points. And I should explain the grading. This is the first point is number of points that's required, and then there's extra credit, and there's a lot of extra credit. So you could skip a project, you could skip some quizzes, you could skip some discussions and just do more hands-on project. Like SQL injection, there's 155 points of extra credit. So a lot of students make all kinds of points by doing the extra parts of the projects, which is very good because the hands-on is the most important part of the class. And like most of my students never even take the final exam because they've already piled up enough extra credit by that time, which is perfectly fine with me. If you're doing things, that's as good as like repeating information from the book. But anyway, this one here, I expect everybody to do some parts with. Get a Linux system working, and then you just have some questions to answer here. And you can do it with a real Linux system, or you can do it by understanding how they work. Yeah?
For my Canvas, all I see is your announcement.
Your Canvas, all you see is what?
Your announcement.
That's right. That's because you're using the City College Canvas server, which I am not using. That's what that announcement says. The Canvas I'm using is up here you go to samsclass.info. This is where you go for everything about my courses. And then you go to CNET 129S. And then here in the quizzes section, you'll have the links to my Canvas server. I'm not using the official one, because that puts it in control of the college. And as we've noticed, the college doesn't do a good job running things. They don't do good with the heating, they don't do good with the bathrooms, and they don't do very well with the Canvas server either. So I prefer to have my own. Anyway, so there's just some questions to answer here for this one. And you can send in the answers in Canvas, and just a list here, or you can use my automated scoring system. Either way will be fine. Canvas is what a lot of people are used to, and you can do the course that way. If you want to get used to these automated systems, this is what happens in the information security industry. People use these capture the flag contests as the main training tool everywhere. So it's not bad to learn how to do that if you're planning to go on in cybersecurity. You'll see these at every conference, which I highly encourage going to, like B-Sides and RSA and Black Hat and DEF CON. Those are all good for you, and they all have contests, capture the flag contests, where you do some kind of technical thing and you find an answer and you turn in the answer to get points. This is very common in this field. And in San Francisco, there's 2 right in town you can go to, B-Sides and RSA. They're coming in, I think, April. So anyway, I highly recommend going to these conferences. They're good for you. And getting to know people. That's how you find jobs and such. Anyway, so that's what the first couple of projects are. And after that, I'll demonstrate next time. These first ones, you just learn the basics of Linux. Then we're going to do command injection and SQL injection, which are the two very important attacks. And then we'll start using the Web Security Academy, which has hundreds of projects in there. And we'll start doing, most of the semester we'll be doing the ones inside there that are very slick, very professional, and very good ways to learn all these common flaws of the web and how to attack them. So that's what I wanted to show you. Let me stop this recording.